So, alrighty. All right, so let's get this show on the road. We got an exclusive workshop. We're going to talk about flipping HUD homes. It's an awesome subject. And we're gonna go through a lot of specifics. I'm not gonna go through I'm not gonna build rapport. Talk. I'm just gonna get right into the mix of things. I've got some great stories for you. Got a guy named Robinson Arias that's on the line with me. He's had phenomenal success with HUD. An amazing story that you definitely got to listen to. So we are going to talk about how to wholesale HUD homes for $7,000 to $15,000 profit per deal. We're going to go into a lot of detail. Make sure you have your pen, paper, and we're going to go through a lot of details here. So, what you're going to learn, we're going to talk about proof of how I flipped 64 HUD homes, stuffed over $600,000 in cash in my bank account. And the cool thing is, without seeing or visiting the properties at all, which is great, and selling them in days for huge profits, right? Because once you have an email buyers list, this business becomes incredibly easy. All you have to do is stick them on an email blast, and you can blast them out to your email list, and you can move these properties quickly. I'm actually going to show you a property I bid on, 2 days ago, put it out on the email yesterday, sold it for over a $7,000 profit in a matter of 24 hours. So the great thing about it is there is no marketing expense when it comes to these properties. No marketing for sellers. And here is my friend Robinson. You're going to hear his amazing story of how, when I first initially tripped across HUD homes almost a handful of years ago, he was one of the first people that grabbed a hold of it. And to see where he has come and where he is now, you'll be absolutely astonished about this one idea. So if you have not been implementing what I'm going to talk about tonight in a part of your business, you're missing a huge thing. Now, this isn't the only thing that I do. Obviously, I do marketing for sellers. But this is an incredible supplement, and it's a great way to get started in the business if you have minimal capital, which is great. All right, make sure you also stay on to the end. I'm going to go through and show you how I bid on a property. I'm going to take you into the website. I'm going to show you a couple different bidding techniques. I'm going to show you properties I've actually bid on. And I use a special spreadsheet that I use to determine what I'm going to offer on a property. So I'm actually going to give you this for free at the end. I'm going to show you a place where you can download it for free. But I use this every single day in my business. Every time I make a bid on a property, I use it. It's simple, but what it does, it lets you know what type of profit there's going to be in a property, but also lets you know what to bid on a property, which is important. All right, so here's the thing. There are some people on the line that know exactly what wholesaling is, okay? They've done a deal before. They've done multiple deals. They've either listened to my podcast, they've read my book, or they understand what wholesaling is or flipping properties. There's other people though that have no clue what wholesaling is. So I'm going to take just a couple minutes and tell you exactly what wholesaling is. So wholesaling is where, in the traditional means, what you do is you market for a small segment of the marketplace, okay? Traditionally, normal sellers are going to list their house with a realtor, okay? What they're going to do is they're going to call a realtor and they're going to list their house with a realtor. That's 95% of the sellers. There's about 3 to 5% of the sellers that are going to essentially want to get out of a property. And they're going to want to, they might have a landlord, and they might have a tenant that trashed the property. They might be a fire damage property. They had a property that had a fire damage on it. Might be a vacant property that they've owned and they inherited or through a probate situation, and they got the property and it's vacant. We do a ton of those. Might be a divorce situation. Might be a pre-foreclosure situation. But those are all sellers, right, that are in distress. Now, the interesting thing is is that, guess what? REOs, banks, are considered sellers. Now, the REO market has essentially dried up because a lot of the foreclosures now have been remedied. Back in 2006, 7, 8, and 9, there's foreclosures coming out of your ears. Now the banks have worked through all that inventory. Inventory levels have decreased, and there's very few REOs in the marketplace today. Now, HUD homes. Now, HUD homes are essentially where there is an FHA loan, and that FHA loan went bad, right? And they took back the property in foreclosure, and now HUD owns the property. And what they do is they dispose the property through a website that I'm going to show you. And it's literally so cool because you can bid on the property and get an acceptance or a cancellation within 24 hours, which is cool. So yes, HUD is a motivated seller. Now, the interesting thing is, when nobody was lending in the marketplace back in 2008, in 2009, in 2010, nobody was lending. All the big banks had such strict guidelines that you had to have a 750 credit score, you had to have full documented income, and there's very few people that could actually meet those qualifications. They had to have a certain debt to income ratios. So a lot of people were not buying. That's why we saw inventory levels increase like crazy and the market was crashing, right? Because there was no buyers in the marketplace. The only people or entity that was lending during that time was FHA. FHA was literally the only group that was lending during 2008, 2009, and 2010. They were doing the majority of the lending in the marketplace. So what's happening is there are situations where sellers get in foreclosure situations, and they go through a foreclosure, they lose the house, then HUD essentially gets that house back. So they become a motivated seller. Now, wholesaling is where we can sign a contract. We don't have to qualify for a loan. We don't have to put up 20% down payment. We don't have to get appraisals and all this stuff. But literally, what we can do is sign a contract. Now, you can sign a contract with a motivated seller that has a fire damage property. We're closing on that property tomorrow. We got a property from a motivated seller. It was a fire damage property. We got it under contract for $17,000, and we sold it for $37,000. Now, that deal, we got that deal under contract and turned around and flipped it. Well, guess what? HUD is a motivated seller as well. We can get that property under contract, and we can turn around and sell that property as well in the exact same way you would a motivated seller that has a fire damage property or inheritance property. You just use different contracts. That's it. So on a contract, you have a price and a closing date. So let's say theoretically on this contract example, we have a $50,000 contract we sign with a seller. Okay, let's call this seller HUD, right? And for $50,000, right? So let's say theoretically the house is worth $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 all fixed up. Well, what we can do then is this contract is incredibly important. This contract will give us what's called equitable interest in the property. Equitable interest means it gives us interest in this property, where then we have the right to market the property to cash buyers, okay? And what we want to market it to cash buyers because essentially we haven't closed on the property yet. Now, interestingly enough, when I first discovered this concept, I went to my father-in-law and I said, "Hey, you would not believe what I just found. I found out you could wholesale real estate. That means you can sign a contract and you can sell a property that you don't own, that you didn't close on." He thought it was crazy. He thought it was nuts. He said, "No way you can do that. That's impossible. You can't do that." I was like, "Why not?" And he said, "You can't do it." and I kind of burst my bubble. I was like a big balloon, and all the air came out. I was like, I was like, "Oh, you can?" Oh, I didn't know that. And see, he said, "Go talk to my realtor friend." So I go talk to a realtor friend, his realtor friend that's been in the business for 25 years. And see, he said, "Well, you can do it. It's, some title companies won't allow you to do it, but what happens is most of the professionals will find those properties first. So interestingly is like, I had two choices. I could listen to them or I could just go out and prove them wrong. See, I used to be a U.S. Marine, and in the Marine Corps, I was in from 88 to 92. And in the Marine Corps, I was taught that guess what? Don't listen to other people's opinions unless they have a bigger stack or a bigger bank account than you, right? So I had a choice. I could listen to these, or they have what you want, right? So what happened is I made a choice at the time, from that Marine Corps perspective, that either I'm going to listen to them or I'm going to find a way to make it happen. I decided to find a way to make it happen, and I went out and started looking for sellers that wanted to sell. Well, the cool thing is that you can then market the property and find a buyer. And you're looking for a cash buyer or a buyer that will use private financing or hard money loans, okay? Now, essentially, let's say you get the property under contract for $60,000. You got a contract with the seller for $50,000. You got a contract with a buyer for $60,000. They haven't run your credit. You haven't put in a huge, down payment. You haven't qualified for a loan. All you've done now is you have a contract with a seller and you have a contract for a buyer for two different prices, one for $50,000 and one for $60,000. Well, once you do that, you can bring it to a closing agent. And a closing agent is either an escrow officer, they're a title company. If you're in New Jersey or, like say, Atlanta, I think they're attorneys that close there. So depending on what state you're in, you can actually close the transaction, where what will happen is the buyer will bring in 100% of the funds. Okay, they'll bring in $60,000, of which $50,000 goes to the seller, right? And the difference goes to you. So on contract one, they bring in $60,000 into the closing agent. Now, the closing agent responsibility is to handle all the paperwork and handle all the money. They're a neutral party that handles the transaction for you. So you wire in $60,000, of which $50,000 goes to the seller, and the difference goes to you, which is $10,000. Now, here's the exciting thing, right? You could do this once a month. And if you do it once a month, right, you could make an extra $120,000 in the next 12 months doing this on a part-time basis once a month, okay? You could do it twice a month. You could do it 3 times a month. You can ramp it up to whatever you want. Here in Phoenix, we do anywhere from 10 to 15 deals a month, and we do deals across the country. So the cool thing is you can do it. You can flip properties, wholesale properties all across the entire country. You can wholesale properties virtually, right? And you can do it around your job if you'd like. So now, how do I know this? Well, because I have a wholesale company, first off, that I do. But here's the problem with wholesaling, okay? With wholesaling traditionally, and it's an incredibly lucrative business, and I love wholesaling. And but I can tell you there is a caveat when it comes to finding deals. Now, it's just like any business. There's marketing that's involved to finding sellers. So one of the biggest problems in wholesaling is constant marketing and you have to manage and pay for. I just set out today a new marketing piece that we're going to do, and a list that we pulled together to market to a specific segment of the market of sellers. We got a big campaign that's going out. I think that, this 30,000 mailers are going out this week, but we got to put together the mail piece. We got to put together the list we're going to target. We track the amount of response it's going to get on this mail piece. What type of response? Do we get a 1%, a 1.2% response? We track those numbers, and we track it down to an ROI on the specific one. Now, what I'm going to show you here tonight, which is great, is that you don't have to do that. With HUD Homes, there is no marketing piece and list and all this type of stuff you have to do. You can literally bid on a site, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to actually do it in front of you. And then you can turn around And you can know if you have an acceptance within 24 hours, and then you can turn around and wholesale the property, which is great. Wholesaling, you have the lead management system. We have all of our leads going into a lead source called Podio, so we can see exactly where the leads come from, what campaign they're sourced to, right? We track them inside there. I can run my business from my iPhone. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. But the cool thing about HUD Homes, you essentially don't need that. Online marketing campaigns and follow-up campaigns. We have extensive follow-up campaigns when it comes to direct mail, it comes to voice, right, that we do, and it comes to email autoresponders. We have an extensive campaigns that continuously follow up with sellers constantly to make sure that we are in front of them when they want to sell their property. The other thing is crazy sellers, right? We got a property under contract recently where sellers. It's like it was an heir, right? It was a probate situation where there were 3 heirs. There was one sister in Nevada, another sister that was in Phoenix, and another brother that was in Phoenix. And they all weren't talking, so we had to get together. We had to facilitate the entire transaction so we could get signatures for the probate court to turn around and basically be able to have the probate court basically issue a deed so we can turn around and buy the property. Well, the brother didn't want to talk to anybody, so I sent Stan, my acquisition manager, up to the house and to knock on the door because he's local, and he sent his dogs after him, chased after him to get off the property. So those things happen with crazy sellers. Now, the great thing is we happen to get everything signed. We're good to go. We're going to be closing in about 2 weeks, and it's a pretty good deal. But the bottom line is you deal with crazy sellers. Beat up houses. We've walked into houses before, and there are dead cats in the house. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in a house before, and see, I'm a dog lover, but I'm an animal lover all the way around. Love cats, love dogs, love everything. And I hate to see dead cats. But if you've ever walked into a house, and it's a terrible thing, I know. I shudder for even laughing. I'm sorry, but the smell of a dead cat that's been there, especially in Phoenix when it's 120 degrees, it's insane. It's just crazy. So there is title issues. One thing when you're dealing with motivated sellers in a distressed situation, there are title issues with the property. It happens. It's part of the business, right? Now, we overcome it. We fight through it. We find a way around it. We do whatever. But there are title issues. So what's a recent title issue we had? Okay, a recent title issue was where we actually was with a fire damage house that we had to deal with. Well, the insurance paid off the loan on the property, but the lender, which was I can't remember what it was, HBC or H whatever it was, they did not submit the release. So you have to have the release on record, or the title company can't fund it because it's showing that there's that outstanding debt on the property. Well, that held up the closing. Right? So we had to go then hunt down who the lender was. We had to go to, find proof for them, request it, and they go, oh, it's going to be 7 to 10 days to be able to get the release. Well, guess what? We got the release today, and we're closing on it tomorrow. It's a $10,000 deal. Good deal, right? But still, title issues. What I'm going to show you tonight is, guess what? HUD, there are no title issues with the property. There's very few. I think I've had one out of the 64, 65 properties I've flipped. So tenant issues, showing problems. Have you ever had that? Guys are on the line right now that have done wholesaling. You have a tenant in the house, and the tenant does not want to move or sell. But you got to show the house because you got to get your cash buyers in the house to look at it so they can make a decision. What do you do, right? And you got 2 ways to go about it. You can do a 24-hour or 48-hour notice, and you could, force them to show the property. Or what I do is I make friends with a tenant, right, and get them on my side, and they work with me on getting the deal done, or you actually have to work in a cash for keys situation, with the tenant. So it becomes difficult. What's great about HUD properties is you don't have to deal with it. It's clean. That's why you can never have to visit a property, which is amazing. So I know all this because I do 15 to 20 deals a month, and I do a ton of marketing. And HUD is a great way to help you scale your business. So if you're in a situation right now and you're doing 1 or 2 deals a month, but you want to do 4 to 5 to 6 deals a month, HUD Homes is a great way to supplement, to increase that in your market or virtually across the entire country. I currently run one of the largest wholesaling operations in Phoenix. We do 15, 20 deals a month of basically bought and sold over $160 million of real estate since 2003. Tons and tons of deals. I've done, distressed multi-unit apartment complex that are 300 plus units for 15, 20 million dollars. I've done large land projects. We've done small multi-unit projects, and we've done a ton of houses. So I've seen pretty much everything. Phoenix is a fast-growing market, tons and tons of competition, and even in a very highly competitive market here in Phoenix, where there's tons of investors, not only across the country trying to get deals here, but local people trying to get deals here. I consistently get deals not only from HUD, but from direct mail and every other source, and online marketing, and from Valpak to radio advertising to TV advertising, to get wholesale deals that we turn around. And I do fix and flip properties. I got buy and hold properties, but my primary source is wholesaling houses, and that's what I do. I also am the host of the #1 rated real estate investing podcast in iTunes. I have over 3 million listeners in 196 different countries. All you do is search in iTunes under Sean Terry or flip to Freedom, and you'll be able to see the actual, you can see that logo down there, that podcast down there. So, and I basically go through a ton of information about that, about wholesaling. So that's where we go. Now, this is why I love HUD Homes. This is why I love it. Because guess what? There is no marketing for sellers. It eliminates the biggest problems in wholesaling. Now, like I said, and I want people listening, I want to make it clear. I market for sellers because you can get deals where you can make 20, 30, 40, 50,000, $100,000 deals. Okay. So why not market for it? Especially now, if you're doing this part-time, or you want to scale your business, or you're just getting started and you don't know where to get started, and you don't have a lot of capital and you don't want to do marketing, this is a great way to start. But this eliminates the biggest problem. No marketing for sellers. You don't have to have a lead management system. You don't have to deal with crazy sellers. Right? You don't have to deal with that. You don't have to deal with tenants or workaround issues trying to show the property. There's no loans or appraisals. You don't have to see the property. You can make offers in minutes, and you can know within 24 hours. It's a phenomenal way, and it completely gets rid of the whole headache when it comes to that. which I love. By far, out of all the deals I do, HUD Homes are the easiest because I don't have to see them. I know within 24 hours if I got them. I can blast them out to my email list. I can sell them. There's already on a lockbox, right? They're already set up on a lockbox. The property's already cleaned out. The title's already cleaned and been cleaned and done. The title meaning the title of the property. So there's no issues with the title, which is great. The houses are vacant. They're all cleaned out. There's no debris. There's no seller's debris. There's no sellers to worry about, right? There's no things that are going to pop up on title and go, oh my gosh, now it's going to close the deal. You can close them quickly, which is great. So think about it. It's the perfect house. See, when wholesaling, the perfect deal is a vacant property that's all cleaned out that you can put on a lockbox and you can sell quick with no title issues. That is the perfect deal in the business. And if, like I said, if everybody's listening, they've done wholesale deals before, that is the deal that you love. Where a seller calls up and says, hey, I got this house, it's all cleaned out, I have it on a lockbox, I want to sell it, and they want to sell it at a discount. That's the perfect seller. You love it. It's the ones that they call up and say, hey, I've got a tenant in there. He hasn't talked to me in 6 months. He hasn't paid. I want to sell the house. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been in there in forever. And you try to get in there. You can't get pictures of it. The cool thing is all the pictures are online for these deals too. So it's literally the perfect seller on Lockbox, vacant, clean, pictures ready to go, which is phenomenal. All right, so you guys ready? Let's do it because I am. Then right after this, I'm going to take you into the HUD website. And then I am, and we're going to talk to Robinson Arias, which is going to be killer. So let me go here. HUD Home Store. Now, first thing I want to show you is people always ask, well, what homes should I bid on? Okay, what and where? So I'm going to go real quick, real fast. I'm going to show you how you can use ListSource, which is basically a free listsource.com, a free source, and you can find out exactly what is the highest performing zip codes for cash transactions, or let's put investor activity zip codes. So I'm gonna go back and refine search. I'm gonna hopefully this site's quicker than it. Oh geez, if it lets me do it, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm gonna go quick. I'm gonna go real fast through this. So you do a search, list source, absentee owners. We're gonna go by county. Right, I'm going to go by state, Arizona. I'm just going to pick Arizona because I know it. I'm going to go Maricopa County. And it's going to give me all the absentee owners. Okay, these are all investor people that purchase properties, right? I'm going to go next. I'm going to go over here and I'm not going to pick, townhouse, multifamily, mobile home, or any of the duplex tribe. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to pick residential single family resident. Now it's going to take this down. So these are 165. Now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go properties in the last 6 months. Last market recording date that's recorded in the 6th. So this is going to give me the last 6 months of people who purchased. Now, look at the count, 6,000. Okay, so that's 6,000 investors that purchased properties in the last 6 months in Maricopa County, Arizona. I am going to go next. And I know I'm going real quick, but I want you to understand. Okay, corporate owned, no preference. Because a lot of people buy in LLCs, they buy in companies. Trustee owned, no preference. So now bumped up to 8,605. Now I'm going to purchase list, or at least pretend like I'm purchasing list. See, this is why I try to have it teed up because look at this, it's wasting time. Hurry up. But this is listsource.com, absentee owner search, and you basically want in your county the people that have purchased in the last 6 months. So it's pulling all this data and compiling it into a list. Is taking forever. Okay, so here's the list. Now what we're going to do is click partial. Okay, so now we're going to go custom, and I'm going to do select search by zip code. And what it's going to do is it's going to basically segment all those 8,600 transactions that were in the last 6 months, all of them, and it's going to break it down into zip code format. Right here, 8,605 leads. It's going to break it down to zip code format, and it's going to give us this pretty little thing that we can export. Now, I'm not going to export it and go through the sorting process, but it's pretty easy. The bottom line is there's 8,605 records, and it gives you by zip code right here the highest amount of transactions. So this one right here, 85018, 119 transaction investor transactions, 147 85302, 85303, it's Maryville, 100 of them. 103 85307, 157, it's the highest 41. This is another Maryville area here in Phoenix. 122. So what I'm saying is this is 1 out of 50 of 130. You can export this, right here for free. They'll send you this list and the numbers, and you can do a sort in Excel, and you can figure out the top 10 highest investor activity zip codes, which is killer. This is a cool little trick I want to be able to tell you. So what this will do when it comes to now going over here, I'm bidding on HUD Homes, you go, where do I bid? Well, how do I know? Well, guess what? Look at your top 10 zip codes, and that's where you want to focus your energy. So if you got multiple deals in here, and you want to be able to determine which ones you want to bid on, right? Then guess what? Those zip codes will give you a navigation on where you can be more aggressive on pricing because it's a higher demand area, which is great. So now, let's go through. So we're on here. The first thing we got to do, the first is find what's called an NAID broker, right? So you can go through and find an NAID broker, and you can select it by, say, Arizona, and I'm going to do this the zip code. What did I do wrong? Oh, city. 85308. Okay. So look at this. It can give you essentially all the closest ones. So if you could put in by city, right, and give you all the ones. So what's going to happen is you have to have an NAID broker. Now, it doesn't have to be the broker. It can be an agent that hangs their license under a broker. So what you're going to do is, let's say, look at these. There's 823 brokers in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, you can check your city in here. And what you're going to do is you're going to call them up and say, hey, Greg, who is your newest agent? Who is the agent that's brand new, that is just got up and started, that's brand new, and it's looking for some business? And the guy goes, well, I got a guy named Greg, or a guy named Paul, whatever, or Vic, or whatever. And what you do is you can then call that agent up, build a relationship with them, and they can bid on HUD Homes. Now they're able to get paid off the bids, off the winning bids that you close on in wholesale. So just tell them exactly what you're doing. You're wholesaling HUD Homes, and you need someone to be able to bid on them for you. So that's an easy way to find, and you might have to call 2 or 3 to find one guy that you can talk to over the phone that you like, that you can build a relationship with. Okay, all right. So that's how you find an NAID broker. Second thing is, now we've got to do a search for properties. Okay, so now I'm going to go here, and what's going to happen is it's going to give us, here's the state, here's the county, of course, put your county. And it's buyer type. This is incredibly important. You only, as an investor, can bid on investor properties. You cannot bid on owner-occupant. You cannot bid on good neighbor next door, government agency, nonprofit, or dollar homes. You cannot bid on those. Only investor. Believe me, I have talked to and thought if we could possibly invest on some of these other things right here. They will not let you do it. So don't even try, because you'll get in trouble. So here it is. Maricopa County, Arizona, investor. Now, you can check your county. The cool thing is this. If your county, right, doesn't have a lot of properties, you can do it virtually. Robinson Arias, I'm going to have it here in a few. After I'm done here, he bids in, I think like 5 or 6 different counties around him in Florida. So here we go. Sorry about that. I just took a glass of water and went down the wrong hole. All right. So here we go. Here are some properties, and they're all in. If you're in Phoenix, you'll know the areas. If you're not, you won't. So this property on 53rd, right? This is a pretty good area, right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it. I'm going to see. Now, here's a couple people that complain. Well, HUD is only taking it 91%, and I can't make any money. Okay, that is a myth, right? you might look at it and you're not digging hard enough. Basically, HUD website is basically a gold mine. And then, but people show up at the gold mine, they start digging and they start digging, right? And they just see some dirt and they go, well, I've tried it and HUD only wants to take 91% and I can't make any money doing it. Okay, that's stupid. Okay, I've made a ton of money off this, and guess what? I can still bid 88%, 87%, 91%. I have made money on deals where I've bid 110% and sold them over list price. It just depends on the timing of the marketplace. You can't do that now, but in certain markets, like in Denver, certain markets in parts of California, you can bid over list price and still be able to flip it and make money. So people say, I've tried it and it doesn't work because it only does, I can't make any money. That's wrong. Okay. The bottom line is this, is that HUD makes mistakes on their properties. Okay. HUD makes mistakes when they value their properties. Not on every one of them, but at least 5 to 7 to 10 a month that you can, depending on your area, depending how much inventory there is, of course, but you can, if you watch them every day and you look at them every day like I do, then guess what? They will make mistakes on deals, and you'll be there to pick up on them. And what's the other thing is, guess what? They drop bid them. This right here means it's been dropped. This is new, of course. This has been dropped. Okay, this has been dropped. So when they drop, sometimes they drop on the HUD store, but they don't drop on MLS. That's a good thing. Okay. So now let's say I was going to look at this one, and I was going to say, I'm not saying this is going to be a smoking deal or anything like that, but let's just look at it. And this is exactly what I do. Okay. This is a pretty good looking house, right? Look at that. It's all cleaned out. It's vacant. It's on lockbox. It needs new appliances. I mean, but this is not a bad looking house. $157,000. Okay, so I'm going to do is look at 1772 32 price reduced, map nearby homes. Now inside, and if you don't have Redfin, you can use Zillow. You can use MLS. I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. I'm going to put active and under contract, update search, and it'll give me everything, and I'm going to do a sort by price. So here's our property, subject property. Here's this one, 1600, a little bit smaller, 147. I'm going to zoom it out because there's not a lot to pick from. Now it gives me some more, 125. 136. So I'm looking basically for properties that are within 10% of the square footage. So the square footage on this particular property right here is 1772, built in 04. So I'm looking for something within 10%. Okay, about 100 to 200 square feet of the subject property. So I'm looking over here. That's not one. That's not one. This one is at 147. Right? This one's not. But this is a big house right here. Look at that for 148. Right here. That's a big house. That would concern me. 1500, 1600, 2100. Here's our property. 1700, 22. Another big property. 167. So I'm basically looking for similar size. And my goal is to be the cheapest property available in the area that is in comparable square footage. Now, so they're getting bigger. So now I'm going to go through, I'm going to do a double check here, and I'm going to go, boom, update. So that's 2,000 square feet for 179. This is a 4.2 for 176, 2,000. Our property's over here, 170 for 1,800. That's a good comp. 156 for 1,900. That's not a good comp because ours is 157, 2,000, that's not a good one. So make sure it's sorted by price. It is. So there's some pretty cheap ones that went in here. 16 for 145. So for this one right here, I would say I need to sell it in the 120s. I would need to sell this sucker in the 120, 125 to make it make sense. So in this particular case, right, I would want to bid. So the purchase price on this is 157,605. 157,605. 91%, that doesn't work. So where do I have to be at? I have to be at 88%. It's 138. That's a bid price, right? That's not going to work. Total acquisition plus profit, that's my sales price right there. 144 is too high. So maybe I have to be at 75%. Actually, I could probably be higher, 78%. And I'm going to put a $10,000 profit, 133 at 75%. So what this is my closing cost. This is my bid price, closing cost, total acquisition. Here's my profit. Here's my sale price. Okay, profit price. So that's my sale price. I think I could probably move that property for 129, that particular area, because it's fairly hot. Okay, so now I know that I'm going to bid 118,204 for the property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to check, right? I'm going to see if there's any mistakes. Now, this property might drop again, and if it drops again, holy cow, guess what? Then it's going to get closer to my strike price. And I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to do this for each one of the properties and get a feel. And guess what? I don't bid on all the properties. I only bid on the ones I know. But guess what? When you talk to Robinson bids on all the properties. I got other friends that bid across. They bid on all the properties. What's going to happen is once you bid, it's going to put it in the queue. And then as soon as they drop a bid, drop that number, they're going to email you and say, hey, listen, we just dropped it. Are you interested? And you can be able to rush in and get that deal. I should bid on them all. I just don't. Here's a 1-1 in Glendale. This one's new. This is in Avondale. Oh, this one's new, I mean. This is in Buckeye. I don't really like Buckeye, and I don't really like Queen Creek. But let me go back to this other new one. I want to see it. This is Litchfield Park. Don't really like that area either. So let's just go with this one, right? I'm going to bid. Let's bid on this house. Right here. I like this house. So what do we do? Submit offer. Right? And see what it says? I got 3 hours, 37 minutes. So I'm going to go select selling broker. Now, your broker or your agent's going to do this for you. Okay? But I'm going to show you how easy it is. My wife is a real estate agent. She hangs her license with a broker. So she's actually given me permission for this example to basically show you. But normally she bids on all the properties for me. I'll go through and say, okay, bid on this one, this one, this one, and then she'll bid on them for me. Okay. So it's basically selling broker. I got to put her NEID number in. I'm going to go boom. I'm going to put the license number. Boom. I'm going to go 166. I'm going to verify NID. Okay, boom. Now, this is the back end. This is where you bid right here. It's real easy. So here it basically verifies, and it's uninsured. Okay. That means that you can't get FHA financing on it. See, it says right here, applying for financing, 203B. They won't allow you to do it. But I'm going to put paying cash. And we're going to go through and we're going to put our bid price of 118,204. Right here for seller pays reasonable. These are customary closing costs or concessions. I always put 0 right there. There's some other tricks I'll show you later, but for now, this is You're going to click investor, and you're going to say right here, may hold backup offer. May hold offer as backup to accepted offer. So let's say someone gets an acceptance on the property, right? And then they don't send in the contract and the earnest money. What happens? Then that bid goes to you, okay? So now I'm going to put in EIN. They don't let you copy and paste. They don't let you copy and paste the EIN, so I'm going to put company name. Boom. Put my address. Oops. California 92629. Email. Paste. All right, so that's it. You don't have to, I mean, if you have a secondary purchaser, you can put them there. But I don't bid in multiple different trusts or any of that type of stuff. I just, right here. So then I go continue. It confirms. Here's all the information. Information here. Just make sure I verify that. Boom. Click acceptance of terms and conditions. Confirm bid. Look at that. There's my bid confirmation, right? And I will know on this tomorrow morning by probably, I'll know on this house by probably 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. The asset manager for this property is in Las Vegas. No, actually, they're in California. My fault. Okay, so now that's how you bid on a property. That's that easy to basically bid on a property. Okay, that's not too difficult, right? Now, the difficulty comes in filling out the paperwork and getting everything over. You have to know specifically exactly what to do. You have to check the exact boxes and everything to be able to do it. But the bottom line is that it's that simple. Now, I'm going to go log in to the back end of this thing. Click login. Now, this is get to review your bids. So you get to see all the bids. So I'm going to do a search right here. Okay. Now, here is 417 bids for me, right? This is the one we just did. This is one on 53rd we just did. See? Here's 157. There's my bid price. Here's all the information. Here's all the addendums about the property. You're going to use the investor sales package right here. Disclosures. These are the contracts. Agent info, and also to BLB Resources in Irvine, California. That's the asset manager. So here's all the pertinent information that you need. Now, you even can modify your bid, or you can withdraw your bid if you'd like. Okay. So now I'm going to go back, and here at 417 bids. Now, if you see this one right here, I got acceptance yesterday, right? This is the one I told you I sold real quick. This is 7 through. Let's look at this property. This is the one. I'll give you the details on it. Okay, here is the price. It's not a bad looking property. I mean, they pulled the carpet out right here. See that? Big backyard. It's fenced. Back here, so there's a wash back there. Pulled out the carpet. It probably is pretty nasty. But I mean, I mean, it literally needs carpet and paint and can be relisted, put back on the market. I mean, it needs appliances, of course. Not a pretty kitchen. I probably put granite or something in there, cleaned it up. but not bad. 140,000. This is a really hot area. So I'm going to go to map nearby properties. Sort. Okay. I'm going to go here. I'm going to get rid of all these other dealios. Here, here, here. All right. So this one's pending 120, 135. This is our property pending right here. Big house, 2565. Here's another one, 2598 pending. See all these, a lot of pendings. See, I mean, that means they're unavailable. No one can get them. 174, 179 pending. Now I'm going to go over here to sold properties. Smaller, smaller, 169. But our property's huge. Our property is 2567 square feet. So that's not a comp, not a comp. 25, that is 184. 195, that's close. 195. 195 at 2,000 square feet. 29 is 224. 220. So we basically priced this property around 195 to 210,000 with the comps and what's going on in the neighborhood. And I blasted it out to my email buyer list, and the thing flew off the shelf. My bid was 127 on a 140. This was 91%. The reason I bid on it like that, because it was a hot area. There's a ton of pendings in the area, and I bid that high. Okay, so that, and I sold the property for 135. That's a $7,000 profit. Okay, $7,000 profit on a quick deal. There was no marketing, and we'll close it in the next 2 weeks. Not bad. So this is what can happen. It can happen quick. Okay, so when it comes to, I'm going to show you real quick. When it comes to basically bidding on the properties, I use this, and you can use your HUD. It's a HUD offer spreadsheet. You put in the list price. You put in here your offer percentage. This gives you the bid price, closing cost. If you use transactional funding, you can put that cost. It'll give you your total acquisition. You add in your profit, and it'll give you your sales price. And what you want to do is you want to make sure your sales price is one of the cheapest properties available in there. And make sure that sales price is comparable to what's going on. So I know on this particular property, my sales price of 129, I'll be able to move that property that we talked about on 53rd fairly quickly for that price. And I knew if I sold this at 135, at that big of property, it could sell and sell quickly, and it did. Okay, so now what happens is you have to have your contract package. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in here, or your agent's going to go in here for you, and then you're going to download the investor sales package, right? And disclosures, and you got to fill out these things and have your agent fill them out specifically in detail, and they're going to ask for a proof of funds. Okay, so this website right here will allow you to get a proof of funds. This is fundthiswholesaler.net, proof-of-funds, and they'll also do your transactional funding for you. I'm actually setting up a private money fund right now. We're raising about $5 million here. I'm launching in January, and then we'll be able to provide transactional funding to everybody at a good cost. So, but here you put in your name, purchase price, your company name, your email, your purchase price, and the property address, and it will generate a thing like this, Terry's Real Estate Investment. Obviously, this was today, right? Here's the property on Carter we just talked about. This letter's confirmed that they'll do the funding, right? And that's it. And you send this off with the package. This will get emailed to you, to the email that you provide in this form. Now, what they do is they charge $1.99 per. You can subscribe for like $9 a month if you want, and then you can do unlimited. $9 a month, you can do unlimited. So depending on how many you're going to do, that makes sense for you. But So we just subscribe, and it makes it easier. Their fees on here are boom. This is probably the biggest one right here. It's what most of the transactions are fall inside. Email from information. But this is where you get a proof of funds, and it's just emailed to you, immediately. So that is the proof of funds. Now, filling out the documents and everything is incredibly important, and then obviously marketing the property to your buyers is incredibly important. There's things you cannot do, and there's things that you can do strategically to market your properties. So now, pretty cool stuff. And we'll get into questions at the end because I know you guys have a ton of questions. All right. So now let's go back here. And I am going to bring on Robinson, and you got to hear his story. Okay. So Robinson emailed this email to me, and this was a couple years ago. When I first discovered HUD, and actually, that's about 18 months ago, I think it was. First discovered HUD and started teaching it, and I did a ton of HUD deals and started teaching it. But he emailed this to me. He said, Robinson Arias, he said, I found you a month ago through an email I received. Thanks, I opened it, but you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. I listened to your webinar and joined the HUD Properties program, and it made sense and solidified what I was looking for. I took action the same day. I called my broker to give me her NAID number. I registered as an agent. Since I have a license, we put in 5 offers on the second day under my wife's real estate company. Some of them were canceled since I did not, which I didn't talk about inside of HUD here, which we didn't get into much into detail here. But we'll get through. That's a sealed bid, acceptance, cancellation, acceptance, cancel, cancel, cancel. So we'll get into more details about that. But the bottom line is, for Robinson, he had some bids that were canceled and some that were accepted. After 2 days, I received the email that one of my offers was accepted. To put this short, we sold the property after 30 days, made a profit of $9,954 plus I earned a 3% commission, so we made over $10,000 on our first deal, bought it for $62 and sold it for $73. After all expenses, the transactional funding fee, we netted about $10,500. Since then, I changed my model of business. I stopped doing short sales, and now we have 2 more properties under contract. We're probably having one sold we bought for $39 and selling the other one for $47 and selling it for $47. The third one we're going to keep, bought it for $32, worth today's market $85. I just wanted to throw in a few words to tell you thanks. You're a real. Finally, someone that does not talk like a guru trying to sell old stuff. I'm a believer in the law of attraction. I've attracted the situation. Somehow I found you. I still don't know how I got the email in my inbox and why I opened it and read it. I receive tons of crap every day that sometimes I read and sometimes I don't. I put it in the garbage without even reading it. That day, he read it, and since then he started doing business in a different way. Thanks again. And by the way, I was broke and filed for bankruptcy. Chapter 7 in 2011. I lost everything except my family, but I never lost hope. I'm going to bring on Robinson because I know he's muted. Hey, Robinson.
Hey, Sean, what up?
Hey, great picture, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. That's Palm Beach.
You look like a stud.
Well, that's Palm Beach style, my friend.
Yes, it is. Cool. All right. So that was an interesting email, obviously, that you sent me back then. So bring me back there where you were, and you got the email, you first saw it. Where were you, like, financially, mentally, spiritually at the time back then?
All right, Sean. First of all, I want to say thank you to all the guys that are attending right now, all the ladies and guys. It's over almost 700 people attending to this call. That means a lot. That means that people are taking action right now. They're taking action today. Instead of watching TV, they are doing something different. And that's something that we have to give credit about it. And
Yep.
That's what I did. Going back in 2011, You know my story, my friend. I pretty much lost everything. I was doing real estate in the wrong way. I bought property. I did pre-construction. I did many things. I was doing the wrong things.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, the market changed. I couldn't hold my properties. I lost pretty much everything. I lost all my properties, all my investment properties, all my rentals.
Wow.
And I even lost my own house. I lost my cars, everything. I broke. That's why I filed for Chapter 7,
Uh-huh.
which includes your primary residence. And that
Yeah.
hurts. That
Yeah.
really hurts. I was
Now, are you single, or do you have a wife and family, or?
man, I have my wife with my three kids. Back
Wow.
in that time, my wife just delivered on May. I had a little girl coming in, she was only almost 1 year. And it was tough times. It was really tough times because I was so stressful because of the bankruptcy, or because of I was not bringing enough income to my house. And I had to change. I had to make a turn of 180, 360, whatever you want to call, but I
Right.
needed to change. I needed to do something different. And as you mentioned
And
in
are
the
you
email,
you're from Ecuador, right?
yeah, yeah, I'm just going back a little bit more. I came to the United States in 2002
Uh-huh.
with a bag of dreams, my wife, and one kid. And while I was staying in the United States, while I was changing my visa status, I decided to study real estate and try to get my real estate license. And I thought that was the path to go, the way to
Right.
go. And then after a couple of years, I realized that I respect realtors, I respect business, but I didn't like it. I decided to start investing in properties, buying properties. At that time, I was able to get loans because of my credit was good, it was new,
Yeah.
and I got into pre-construction, start buying properties, renting houses, buying lots. I got a portfolio of about 3.5 million dollars,
Mm-hmm.
but I lost everything. But I lost
Yeah.
everything. I was in the top, and suddenly in 2007, I was down,
Mm-hmm.
struggling. Start doing short sales. In 2011, when I saw your podcast, I was looking for something different. I was looking for something simple, you know, um,
Right.
something that I can change, can change the things that I was doing. And I look at your email, I open it, the same thing as today. I'm pretty sure there's many people like me back in 2011 and 12 that had nothing, and you're looking something different. You're looking to make a change, and that was my point. That I was in that position, and I started doing the same things that you were teaching today. And I really appreciate, because guys, whoever is right now here in the podcast, you have to listen to Sean. He is real. He's telling you the truth. He's doing right now. You have to do it right now. You got to do it. I was doing it. What he was talking about, the same seminar, the same webcast. I was doing in my other computer next to me, it seeing if this is real. I mean, if the
Right.
website exists, and if this is something I can you know take
Wrap your
action.
head around.
And that's what I did. I mean, guys, you are looking right now at the same webinar that I did on 2011. And if you're not taking note with Sean, you're losing your time. You're wasting your time right now. You got to do it. You got to just take action. And that's what I did. I took action. That's the difference. There's a lot of thinkers. There's a lot of great ideas out there. You guys are creative. You guys have nice ideas. You're dreamers, but you're not taking action probably. And
Right.
that's the difference. You have to take action. That's what I did. I took action the same day, the same moment that I was watching the same seminar that you're watching today. I took action and I
So
started
tell me,
doing it.
so Robinson, tell me about that first deal that you did. So I remember you called your wife, you got the NEID broker's number there, and you started just placing bids. And so how when you got that acceptance, were you nervous?
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I mean, let me tell you, all the people here. I start bidding without money, no money on my bank account. I was broke. I was literally broke. I put my offer. I checked the listings that were available in Hud.
Yep.
Comes to the one of the listings was one of my brokers. I am a realtor. I have a license, but I'm not doing real estate as a realtor anymore. I'm an investor. I'm an entrepreneur doing real estate as an investor. So what I did is I put an offer right away. I sent a text actually via text message to my broker and I said, listen, I want to put an offer. I know that you are the listing broker on this property.
Right.
How can I do it? She gave me the NAD number. I put the NAD number. I put my real estate license, all the information that you just showed to all the crowd over here. I mean, you just showed everything. I put the same information. I put my bids. You know, I just send the information. I do my comps immediately after I was checking the properties. I did my comps and I send the information. After 48 hours, I receive an email that my offer was accepted.
Wow.
I said, great, awesome. Now what? Now what? I don't have any money, man. I was like, oh my God, okay, this is nice. I got an offer. I don't even have the $1,000 that I needed to put it as a down payment, as a deposit. I didn't have the $1,000. The earnest money, because you know, if it's less than $50,000, you need 500. If it's more than $50,000, you need $1,000.
Yep.
And I said, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know, I had to get the money, and then after I had to put all together because you need 40. I mean, you only have 48 hours to put the contract together, and the contract has to be in the asset managed within 48 hours.
Right.
So what I did is I borrowed some money. I borrowed the $1,000 because I was broke, as I said before. And I sent the package. I went to my office, of course. I put all together, make sure that all the signatures, all the addendums, all the disclosures, because as Sean told you, I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to comply with. You have to fill out the contract properly, all the disclosures, all the information has to be in. I mean, if there's missing one thing, like a signature or initial, they're gonna reject your offer, and they're gonna send you an email rejecting your offer. If you don't comply within the next 24 hours, they just put the property back on the market. So that's something that you have to understand. You have to master this particular area. You know, I mean, real estate investment is wide. You know, you can invest in hot homes, you can invest in auction, which I do auction, courthouse. I do a lot of biddings through Fannie Mae, auction.com, home search, Hubs. But what I'm trying to tell you is you have to follow the instruction and you have to masterize. You have to master one thing. Hot homes is just one thing of the investment side, which is great because it's there. It's available for everyone. Is available for any person that wants to, you know.
All right, so we're all sitting on the ledge here, Robinson. Okay, so you got the 1,000. What happened?
Okay, man. So next, okay, I got the 1,000. I put the contract in. Everything great. Boom, accepted. Now what? You know. And then I start working. As I said before, you know, once you start to take action, the things start to come together. You know. Don't wait. I'm just gonna, you know, I wanna tell all the people because probably they need some kind of motivation right here. And the concept is here. I mean, if you didn't take note with Sean, I mean, the concept is there. Now you have to know what you have to do. Once you take action, the universe is gonna start to take action with you together. And that's what I did. You know, I put the contract together. I sent it. Contract approved. And then I start marketing. What I did banding signs. I start marketing Craigslist. I start doing Backpage. I start doing Facebook, sending text messages to all my contacts. That's one of the keys that I use all the time. Text messages and banding signs. That's been awesome, because I didn't have any buyers list yet, and I didn't have any system yet. I didn't have anything. Not website, not systems, nothing. I just took action, and then after, figure it out. What's gonna happen? I didn't know. You know what happened? I'm gonna tell you the truth. What happened in this field? I was in Lois. It was buying something. I don't remember exactly what I was buying. Somebody called me because I have an ad on my truck. I have a sign that says, in Spanish, it says propiedades baratas, which means cheap properties. And this guy called me and said, listen, I lend money to investors. And said, listen, I have a property. If you're interested, I'm selling a property. If you're interested, if you have somebody else that is interested in these properties, I can sell it. He says, okay, where are you at? I-5, Lois. He came to me and talked to me. We start, chatting each other. And he said, I'm going to take a look at this property. He went to the property next day, and he called me that afternoon. He says, you know what? I'm going to buy the property. I like it. I want to keep that property as a rental for my portfolio. That was like heaven for me.
So a guy called off a sign off your truck.
Off my truck. I mean, you don't expect something like that.
No.
When you're not ready.
So
that's
you
what I'm
sold
saying.
it, and so he bought it, and you made, with your commissions, about a little over $10,000.
Yeah, $10,000 that month. That was like, winning the lottery for me, because I was broke.
Was that a big check?
It was a big check, And I said, if I can do this right now, I'm gonna do it later. I mean, I'm gonna repeat this equation. I'm gonna repeat this exercise, and that's it. I was looking for something simple. That's another thing that I wanna mention, because I've been in real estate since I started 2003, doing different things. And when you came up with the podcast, with the Hub podcast, I was looking for something simple. I was having trouble with my offers sending to other realtors. I don't know what's going on with these realtors. They're hiding, they're concealing. I don't know if they're involved in the transactions, whatever it is. I was presenting offers, but never granted. With HUD, you send your offer, they don't get to see the offer because they go directly to the asset manager. They are the ones that they take the decision on these properties. So it bypassed the realtor, bypassed completely. I don't care if they're making their money. That's fine. That bypass, and then I can control the deal. As you said before, these deals are awesome. They are well taken care. They don't have any issues. If they have some issues, well, that's just something that you can handle. They are clean. You have access to the property. They are empty. They are vacant because they are not tenant occupied or owner occupied, like it happens when you buy from the courthouse or when you buy from other sites. There are a lot of properties that are owned, and there's still people living in the property, and you have to deal with eviction. In this case, the properties are empty. They are clean. They give you disclosures. They give you the PCR, which is the property condition report. I mean, it's everything there. And the system just is clear. You just put your offer, you put the information, and boom, you have an answer within 24 hours. That's it. And after that, if you don't have the answer of acceptance, at least you're going to have an answer of counteroffer. So you make your decision based on that. So that's what it is. I start making changes on the way that I was making offers. Hot properties, even though in my market is quite tight market, is quite hard to get it. I said, if I can do this in this market, why not I cannot do it in other markets? So I start bidding in five other markets. I start bidding on Dade County, Broward County, Palm Beach County, which is my market, Martin County, San Lucie County, and now I'm doing Duval County, which is Jacksonville. It's 5 hours driving from where I am, but who cares? If I can do this virtually, I don't care where I
Yeah,
am.
you can still do it. All right, so okay, you did your first deal and you were ecstatic, and that made a huge difference. So after, what about the year? Like, so what did you do like 12 months after that? You think, for that
Well,
annual income? I think you were
yeah,
telling me some numbers.
of course, man. I mean, we actually did a podcast with you. I
Okay.
sent you an email and told you, listen,
Yeah,
from
you're
broke to
preaching.
150K first year.
Yeah.
That's what I did. 150K
Okay, so
the
for guys
first year.
listening, he did is he listened to the training, he got going, got started bidding, and he went from first deal 10,000 within 30 days and 150,000 his first month. I mean his first year, and then what did you do? Like what did you do last year, and what are you doing this year?
Last year, 185. This year, I'm hitting 250.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just talking about only hot properties, okay? Because
Yeah,
now I'm
yeah,
bidding.
that's like because I mean, and interestingly enough, and I'm actually going to have you, for people listening, I'm going to do a 4-week live intensive, and I'm going to have Robinson on, and he's going to share some of the techniques he's doing with about fixing and flipping some of the properties and doing it in multiple different counties. He's doing some killer stuff that is amazing, but just on HUD properties. So we got 250,000 plus 185,000 plus
150 the first year.
150,000.
Yeah,
So you're talking because you opened an email, you listened to a webinar, you took action, you got started. You went from bankruptcy, Chapter 7, losing your house, losing your cars, losing your stuff, to generating close to $600,000 in revenue in a highly competitive market. Now, has that changed your life?
absolutely. Absolutely, man. I mean, I just want to tell, to the guys that are listening right now, 647 people right now on the call, you have to take action. I mean, this is real. Wherever your market is, I don't know where you are. You probably are in Alaska, you probably are in Florida, Arizona, wherever you are, you can do this. You have to understand, you have to masterize, and you just have to do it. Just take action. That's it. Sean showed you everything. Today, he showed what I saw 2 years ago, and that's what I did. That's what I did. I follow your instructions without even joining your academy. I was doing right there. I was so desperate, and I had to do it something. I had to change, and that's what
Right.
I did. I did right. I took action, and I think that people they need to take action because they have great ideas. They are getting educated. I mean, they're looking. I mean, you just have to go for it. And
Right.
that's the problem that we're having with a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're looking. They are taking. They're analyzing everything. They are studying everything and looking for the perfect time, perfect property, perfect deal. You know what? Just do it.
Right.
Don't wait for the perfect time for the
Yeah,
perfect
because
deal
you
because
didn't yeah you didn't know what the buyers were going to come, and the next thing you know, it's
exactly.
everything's lined up.
Exactly. So
So
the intention it has to be there. You gotta there's a couple books that I read before and it makes sense right away when you came out. And I'm a strong believer of the law of attraction.
yeah.
For some people, probably they don't really care about this. For me, it works a lot.
Well, you're living
And
proof. I mean, you've
I'm
attracted a
living
certain
proof.
situation, and
You attract. You
yeah,
have
and next
to
thing you know,
you have
six
to
hundred thousand
connect.
dollars later,
Yeah,
it works.
exactly. So my message I mean, we're not gonna be today we're not gonna tell you all the tips, all the technician and stuff. I just gonna give you some encouragement. I'm gonna give you some motivation. Just go ahead and do it. Follow the instructions. Follow what is telling you Sean. Sean is one of the top real estate investors in the United States, and just follow that. And once you understand, people may be asking why these guys are talking about this. why these guys are giving this information for free. You know what? Once you understand that life is about giving, not about receiving, it's about giving. Once you understand that, you're gonna start receiving. And it's not only about money. That's another thing that people relate successful with money. It's not about money. It's about yourself. It's about how you think. It's how you react. It's how you are with other people, with the environment, with your friends, with your family, with your kids, with your wife. If you're kind, if you give away a lot of things, not money, not material things start to come up back to you. And that's how it works, the system. You have to understand that. Sean is giving you a lot of information for free. If you just follow the instructions, believe me, you can do what I did the first year. $150,000 the first year, only in hot homes. Only in hot homes. I'm not telling you what I'm doing right now. Sean knows. We've been talking a little bit about it. Courthouses, other bid sites, hot homes, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. I mean, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of stream of income.
It's a big world when it comes out there.
It's a big war. It's a big. There's something. There's always something to everyone.
Right.
And we are not, we are sharing, and that's the difference. When you share, when you read the books, when you read The Power of Intention, when you read The Go-Giver, when you read Robert Kiyosaki, I mean, they're not telling you strategies. They are telling you how to change your mind, how you have to change your mind, your status quo. That's why you have to change. And that's the problem that we're having. A lot of people may have a lot of knowledge. They are very analytics. They know everything. They study everything, but they don't take action. And that's the only difference between you and I, because we took action in something that we believe in, and we think, well, let's do it. Just see what happened. Let's do it. And that's what we did. We went through to this, whatever it comes, let's do it. And that's the difference. There's a lot of people here listen to the podcast, and some of them are taking action, and some of them they're not taking action.
Right.
They just listen.
Well, I'm sure glad you did, Robinson, because you've been a great success story and just been amazing. So, again, thank you so much for being on. I greatly appreciate it. We're gonna blow through the rest of this right here and make it quick. So, again, thank you so much, Robinson, for all your success and everything you've done and everything you shared. It's been great.
All right, Sean, it's a pleasure to be with you. One of the top real estate investors. Keep doing what you're doing, and for the people that are listening right now, go ahead and just take action. Kiss. You know what I mean? Kiss. Keep it simple. Stupid. That's what
Hey there.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
What is up,
All right,
crew?
All right, take care. Thanks,
Sean Terry here.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, take care. Thanks, man. All right, see you. Bye. All right, awesome story from by Robinson. Obviously, can you tell he's excited? He's inspired. He is very excited about obviously what he's done. So here's a couple other success stories that people have sent me over via Facebook. Here is Katrina M via Facebook. In my Sean Terry voice, boom baby. I guess I'm known for the boom baby. I just closed my first deal. It may not have been big to some, but it was huge to me. I didn't have capital when I first started, so I focused on HUD homes, and I made $6,753.54. Thanks, Sean, for an awesome training. Here's another one from Jared K via Facebook. Just closed my first HUD wholesale yesterday. Bank asking price 68. Locked it up for 44. Sold it for 55. After closing fees, made $9,240. Congratulations, Jared. That's an awesome success story. So, what I am doing is I am going to open up a live flipping HUD homes 4-week intensive. And I did this, a handful of years ago when Robinson signed up. And I'm doing it again. And it's a 4-week live HUD homes intensive coaching program. So what will happen is I'm going to basically, for a small group of people, I am going to live for 4 weeks, go through every minute detail, so you have 100% confidence and know specifically exactly what to do when it comes to every aspect of flipping HUD homes. It's going to be awesome. And not only am I going to do it, it's going to be Robinson's going to be on there, and he's going to share some of his amazing techniques. And I'm going to have other students that have went through the program and have unbelievable success. And I'm going to have them on there and sharing their stories and their tips and tricks that have worked for them, from people that have done virtual wholesaling all across the country to guys that are just flipping to fixing and flipping. But it's a 4-week intensive. It's live. And we're going to go through every single detail and be able to get all questions answered and hear from some other people. This is all fresh, brand new information per the HUD laws, HUD rules that they have they have done over, they have enforced over the past handful of months and years. So it's going to be awesome. So week number 1, we're going to analyze your market so you know exactly what to bid on in detail, specifically. How to navigate the HUD website so you are confident on how to make offers. Okay. We're going to help you find your NAID broker so you can make lots of offers, find the right person to work with. Basic education on HUD terminology. So not only will you have a video of exactly what to do, but actually a breakdown of a step-by-step exactly how to bid, which is great. And the 5 deadly sins for flipping HUDs so you don't fail. This is incredibly important. I actually sent an email out later this week about what not to do, and also when it comes to bidding on, or actually marketing your properties on Craigslist. HUD Home has recently nailed down that pretty hard on not to market properties. So there's specific other things you cannot do, but there's 5 deadly sins you must avoid, or you'll get in trouble when it comes with HUD. So that's week number 1. So we get on live, we go through the specific detailed training, and we go through a Q&A. We'll have other students and their success stories and what they've done in different markets across the country. How to find the best deals so you can make the most money. How to pull comparable properties so you know what you can sell the property for. This is incredibly important. Running comps, understanding value, understanding what, and we didn't get into it. I just went real quick, but there's specific criteria on what to do and what not to do. And you have to know that, otherwise you'll basically tie up a HUD and you're going to have a hard time selling it. How to make your bids so you don't overpay. When to make your bids so you have time to sell. I'm going to show you essentially how to tie up a property, right, and be able to market and try to sell the property before you actually have to commit any earnest money. It's pretty cool. There are certain tricks you can do with that. We're going to talk about when to specifically bid in the daytime. When you bid in the morning, you bid in the afternoon, you bid in the evening. There's ways to be able to beat out your competition when it comes to that. We're going to talk about how to use bidding spreadsheets so you can find HUD's threshold. We're going to actually take you in and show you how to find HUD's threshold. It's really easy. There's 2 different ways to do it. And I can show you exactly how to know what HUD will take in your market. We're also going to talk about 9 bidding strategies you must know so you'll have the winning edge. 9 bidding strategies you must know so you have the winning edge. These are strategies that will allow you to. You see, it's funny because in my market here, they go, "How do you get so many HUD deals?" And I go, "I just have a great relationship with HUD." And they're going, "Oh man, you have to have a relationship with HUD to get HUD deals, right?" No, I know these 9 bidding strategies that, guess what, they don't know, and I have a way to be able to outbid and still get the deal and still make a profit on it. All right, so week number 3. What to do when you get acceptance so you don't blow the deal. That's what Robinson talked about. What you do, the paperwork is critical that you make sure you dot every I and cross every T. And you make sure you have to have certain people sign the documents. You have to have your proof of funds in there, and there's some other documents you have, but you have to make sure everything's done correctly. And the problem is, if you have an agent, a lot of agents don't know how to bid on HUD homes. And if you find an agent that does know how, they're not going to want to do multiple bids. So you're going to deal with someone new. So you're going to basically be educating them on the process of bidding on HUD homes. So you've got to know exactly how to do it. How to get your POF so you can get the contract signed, accept. I kind of show you that. What to do when there is a contract correction. Robinson talked about that. What to do? What happens if you send it in, you mess it up, and then HUD comes back and says, hey, your contract's going to get canceled. You got 24 hours to correct it. And you go, holy cow, how do I correct it? What if they come back and they say your POF isn't acceptable? What if they come back and say your contract's not acceptable? What if they come back and say, whatever, you know what I mean? You got to be able to know how to overcome that. What to do when there's confirming your winning bid so you can market the property. Once you understand, you got to be able to confirm it, understand what it is, and then be able to market the property strategically. Week number 4, how to prep the property for sale so they sell quickly. There's specific things you can do to get the property to sell quickly. How to sell a house in hours and not days. Okay, I'm basically what I've never done before, and I'm going to do now, but it's pretty cool. But we'll get to it in a second. Getting the sell side contract and the EMD from the buyer. So once the marketing, the call's coming in, you got buyers that want a property. How do you get the contract signed from the buyer and get it over to escrow? What type of title companies do you use? Do you use 2 different title companies? How do you use the same title company to close? How exactly can you get the transaction done? Because here's the deal, okay? You cannot assign a HUD contract. There's a specific closing technique that you must follow, or the deal will blow up. We're going to show you multiple different ways to get the deal closed without an assignment, and it's pretty strategic. We're going to talk about transactional funding so you can close your deal with ease. What title agents, how to work with that, what paperwork's needed. It's not that hard, but you have to know it. Working with a closing agent so you don't look like an idiot. You don't want to go in talking to a closing agent about specific things when you don't know what you're talking about on a HUD transaction, because that's what they do all day long, and they're going to look at you like you're cross-eyed. So you have to know exactly what to do. Closing the deal and collecting your check. That's where you get the boom, baby. That's where I do a live event every year in Scottsdale, Arizona. Last event we had over 500 plus people there, and I give away $10,000 each year, and I give $1,000 away a month for the best videos that are submitted. So you get to submit your video. If you get picked, you're in one of the candidates for the $10,000. Last year we gave away $10,000, and it was awesome. All right, so here's the thing, right? On select approved properties, if they're deals and they fit our criteria, right, I will basically market your properties to my nationwide cash buyer email list. So I have a nationwide email database where I can email blast your properties out nationwide and have the buyers call you directly, and you can have them go look at the property and help you sell the property. Now, if you bring a property, it's not a good deal, then obviously we're not going to send it out to the list. I mean, if it's just a lame deal. But if you follow the instructions and you get a good deal and it's a good comp, then guess what? We'll work with you to be able to sell your property to my nationwide cash buyers list, which would be killer. Here's another amazing success story. Glenn M. via Facebook. First virtual wholesale check from a HUD deal completed in about 3 weeks ago. I reside in Dallas, Texas, but flipped a HUD house in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It feels great. providing that I can successfully flip a house 1,200 miles away without ever visiting the property, without ever visiting the city, and without ever meeting the buyer. I made $14,546 in my first 3 weeks. So the cool thing is we will show you how to virtually wholesale across the entire country. What if you're in a market, just like Robinson? Robinson now is in 5 different counties wholesaling virtually and houses. Why can't you pick other counties in virtually wholesaling? And there's ways to strategically do it so you can turn around and be able to make $14,546 flipping properties. Okay, so when we went through initially, I mean, there's a lot of people that went through the first initial program. This is obviously brand new. We've got we're working through my national buyers list, and it's live coaching with me. It's not going to be anybody else. It's going to be me on the line with you. Each one of the trainings are pretty extensive. They will be recorded. They'll be made available inside a membership training. You'll get access to a private members Facebook group where you can interact with people that have followed my podcast and are Flip to Freedom Academy members that started out brand new that are now generating over $100,000 a month in revenue. It's funny, I did a crab fest out in Mission Beach. I rented a huge, it was like a 6,000 square foot mansion right in Mission Beach, right on the bay side, and had our whole family out. It was amazing. But I did a gigantic crab fest right on the bay, right on the grass. We had these huge, there's probably about 60, 70 people there. But I flew in 100 pounds of Dungeness crab from Baltimore, Maryland. It was amazing. And I had a huge steamer. We steamed all the crabs. We threw them in the middle of the table. But one of the guys is a guy named Doug Van Soot, who's out of San Diego. And I got another friend of mine, Todd Toback, he's another wholesaler out of San Diego. But Doug Van Soot, he was there, and he got started. He's now started, when we first met, he was doing nothing. Then he got in, he started making $10,000, $15,000 a month wholesaling. Then we did a couple tweaks and talked to him, went through a couple trainings and stuff. Now he's doing over $100,000 a month in revenue. So he was there at the event, and we're talking with him and his family, his wife and his kids, and it was a blast. It was a complete blast, and it's changed his life. So the bottom line is when we priced this, I decided to do it for $14.97. Okay. Now you've got to see these 5 amazing bonuses that come with this. And you can go to flippinghudhomes.com, flippinghudhomes.com to register. We only have a select few people that we're going to be working with, just a handful of people, because we want to keep it close. Because we're going to be marketing, select properties to our buyers list, so we can't have 50 billion people. And that's why we priced it like this. So now, check out this: 5 massive bonuses. Number 1, access to my transactional funding source. So you can have access to my discount transactional funding source, which is awesome. And like I said, I'm going to be launching my own transactional fund that will be opening in January. It's a $9.97 value. Bonus number 2, access to 12K in 37 days. It's a fast start training that you can get, 12K in 37 days. It's a fast start, how to get up and going. And this is the other side. There's the HUD training, but this is also the other wholesaling side that teaches you every aspect on how to go out and build your business through marketing to motivated sellers. It's a $9.97 value. Also, 6-figure flipper. It's advanced training. So let's say you want to learn HUDs, but also you want to scale your business. Right? This right here, 6-figure flipper, will show you exactly how to go from $10,000 to $15,000 a month to over $100,000 a month in revenue. The systems I use, the staff I have, the certain roles that they have, and what I do from follow-up systems to online campaigns to scaling marketing down to reporting on specific numbers, the numbers you need to track, the KPIs you need to track to be able to scale a business to $100,000 a month. And I consistently do well over $100,000 a month in revenue. So, show you exactly how to do it. It's a $9.97 value. Also, full access to the Flip to Freedom Academy, every aspect of it to the Flip to Freedom Academy. You get access to the private Facebook group. There's over 1,500 members of people doing deals all across the entire country. It's a phenomenal networking source to work with people to virtually wholesale across the country. Full access to everything. There's over, I don't know, I think there's 3,000 hours of content in there inside the academy, which is amazing. It's $9.97 value. And I haven't even showed you bonus number 5 yet. Bonus number 5 is probably the most important. Bonus number 5 is what people rave about the Flip to Freedom Academy. That's one of the best part. Now, again, next thing is it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can try it for 30 days, not 100% satisfied, no questions, no hassle refund. If you follow the system exactly and don't make 3 times your money back within 30 days, we'll refund your money. If you feel that this is not the most incredible opportunity ever, the first 30 days, we will refund every dime. I want you to know that I stand behind it. I'm the one that's doing it. I'm the one that's doing the coaching. I'm the one that's going to be on the calls. I'm going to be the one teaching the information, showing you the back end, how it works. We're going to be bidding on properties together. We're going to be going, it's a full intensive training where we're going to be doing paperwork together. We're going to be marking properties together to go out and to make this happen. So now, here's the deal. I'm only opening this up, right, to the first 25 people. Okay, I don't want to do a small group, but it's not going to be $14.97. It's $7.97 one time. You get all the bonuses. I haven't even told you the 5th bonus yet. $7.97 one time. Go to flippinghudhomes.com, flippinghudhomes.com, and that's for the first 25 people. After 25 people register, the price will automatically go up to $14.97. So if you want to wait and you want to think about it and you want to do it tomorrow, see, you're lucky you showed up on the webinar and wanted to start right now, because people that said, oh, just do the replay. If 25 people sign up tonight, guess what? The price tomorrow is $14.97. So the bottom line is the first 25 people to get started, sign up and get going, to take action like Robinson talked about, then we'll lock in the $7.97, and that's one-time access to everything all the time. So this is great. So that's flippinghudhomes.com. Now, bonus number 5 is ongoing live coaching calls with me. I do coaching calls every 2 weeks, and you can get on live every 2 weeks, okay? And I go on there and I answer questions, and we do it via Google Hangout. It's a blast. People get to interact across the country, and we go through specific things that are going on in the market, from bidding techniques to things we're doing, the market change, market updates, strategic marketing. I go through deals that we've recently done. It's awesome. But the cool thing is it's ongoing. So it's not only 4 weeks. So we go through intensive 4-week training on HUD Homes, and then after that, you get to plug in and be a part of the coaching calls every 2 weeks, and I've been doing them since November of 2010, and the cool thing is that they're all archived inside the Flip to Freedom Academy. Every single, so you can download and listen to them on your like on your audio on your iPhone or Android or whatever, but you can or you can watch the videos. It's pretty killer. But since November 2010, I've archived every single coaching call, and we go through a ton of information. So it's awesome. So that's a $1,997 value. So let's recap. So you get the HUD Maverick 4-week intensive, $14.97. Bonus 1, access to my transactional funding, $9.97. Access to 12K and 37 days fast start training for $9.97. Access to 6-figure flipper advanced training, $9.97. Access to the Flip to Freedom Academy, the full academy, $9.97. And access to live, bi-weekly, ongoing coaching calls every 2 weeks for me, where I'll get on and answer all your questions. We go through properties, we analyze properties, we talk about deals. It's pretty killer. But that's a total value of $7,482 value for one time for the first 25 people to sign up. Take action right now at $7.97 one time. All you got to do is go to flippinghudhomes.com, flippinghudhomes.com to get started. Get started right now. And we start our first training on November. What is that? Let me see. I think I lost my voice. November. And remember, all these trainings are recorded, and they will be recorded, and they'll be put inside the membership area that you can download and listen to. You can watch in the members area. We rip out the audio from them, so you can have the audio and you can listen to the audio. So we have it good. So it's going to be, the first one's going to be training's going to start the 5th of November is when the first training starts. 5th of November, which is pretty cool. All right. So that is it. I'm going to go through and answer a couple questions for you guys. So let me answer some questions for you. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Wow. There's 50 billion questions. Okay, this is a great question from Oscar. Can you have a realtor license and bid on HUD website? Yes. Actually, you can bid on your own behalf. Instead of you representing somebody, right, you can bid on your own behalf. Now, Robinson, he's a realtor, and his wife's a realtor, so he bid on his own behalf, which is cool. This is from Wilford. This is a great question. I joined the training. Do I? Congratulations, Wilford. Boom, baby. you got a boom, baby, Wilford. Wilford Rivera. Do I have to have a license? No, you don't have to have a license to do this. I don't have a real estate license. My wife has a real estate license, but I don't. So I am a real estate investor, and I basically bid on my own behalf. So we will show you how to get a real estate agent to basically bid on it for you. Hey, Dan. Congratulations. Dan McCary signed up. Congratulations. Cool, cool. This is from J.R. Schooner. He said he does about 10 to 25 properties a month. That's awesome, bud. Congratulations. Actually, you'd be a great person to interview. Send me an email. I have not met many people that do 10 to 25 properties a month, so I'd love to email you. God bless you and your family too, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, JR, definitely shoot me an email because I'd love to talk to you. Because I like I said, I don't know many people that do that many properties, but thanks for being on. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's what I said. This is Paul. He said, ain't no Dungeness crab in Maryland. Of course there are. Chesapeake Bay, Baltimore, Maryland, Chesapeake Bay. What am I missing something? Yeah, this is an all brand new training. The HUD was, if you had the HUD in the past, that's all been, that's 3 years old information. So this is all brand new, completely brand new information. This is from Jill. Since you cannot assign a HUD property to avoid transactional funding, is buying in an LLC, assigning an LLC doable? It is doable, but there's a ton of paperwork. There are other ways to close a transaction without having to do that and without having to pay transactional funding. Sometimes you do, but sometimes you don't. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. So he learned a ton of information. He's going to start applying it. Cool. Do we need cash to bid on HUD homes? Once you get an acceptance, right? If the bid acceptance is under 50,000, there's a $500 earnest money deposit. If it's over 50,000, it is a $1,000 earnest money deposit. So um, there's strategic ways to be able to bid on a HUD property, give yourself time to actually get the property sold, and be able to have a buyer that's going to buy it actually fund the earnest money for you. Or if it's a smoking deal, you can have a partner on it. The original HUD videos in Flipping Freedom Academy are being replaced by the 4-week trading. Sound is good. Hmm. Some said I ran to the information too fast. It's funny because some people said I went too slow. Some people said I went too fast. I can't keep on here. I could go on for hours and hours and hours and hours, but that's not the point. I just wanted to give you an idea, give you the concept of what it does. I mean, just like Robinson, he got started, got the information, started bidding. How do we know the HUD acceptance ratio? We'll go through that in detail. There's multiple different ways to figure out the HUD acceptance, what their threshold is, and what they'll take. This is John Pierce. He said, "I'm getting started. Screw this. I'm tired of working for my old company." You know what the cool thing is that I mean, this is a great concept. Whether you're doing it or not doing it, there's always information. You can scale your business, and be able to learn something like this. You always can be able to, once you understand that, once you really understand and master this, you always can generate revenue. Let's say you're working a part-time job. This is perfect. You can go, and at night at a certain time, you can bid on a couple properties and get accepted. You can wholesale them. And what if you do one a month and you make $7,000, $8,000, $10,000? Well, what's it going to take on your job to get a $7,000 raise a month? You know? Yeah, this is a good question from Norman. Does HUD have a deadline once a contract? Yes, there's an escrow period. And I think in Texas it's 30 days. In Arizona it's 45 days. This is from Alex. He said, how much capital I need to get started once I get the program? Just earnest money. So let's say once you get a deal, then it's either earnest money, right? And you can have either a buyer fund the earnest money, right? Because you're going to get a $2,500 non-refundable deposit from a buyer, right? And you only need $1,000 for HUD. Well, it's a timing issue, right? So if it's done correctly with a timing issue, then you can use the $2,500 to basically front the money for HUD. Now, if you have the $1,000, or the $500 for the earnest money, that would obviously be better because you're like in a time rush to be able to do it. But there's strategic times in the week to be able to give yourself more time to get the property out there marketed. Do you ever sell copies of sample contracts? I don't sell copies of them. They're part of the academy. I have a whole resource section, a part of the academy that goes through all my contracts and everything like that. I mean, in the Flip to Freedom Academy, there's all the different modules of training. We got the HUD trainings right here where you're going to register for the HUD calls. We got a coaching call tomorrow afternoon. This is a coaching call archive that we did, right? There's a six-figure wholesaler, 0 to 12K in 37 days. We got success stories, game changer resources. We got forms and contracts, recommended books. Support. I have a whole support team. We got the community. Oops. Where's this thing? Okay, there. The signing up to give us lifetime access to the academy, yes. This is Frank. He says, I'm trying to place an order, but the buying page is not responding. Keep trying, Frank. That might be just overloaded, or it might be switching from which I don't think it is. Who pays realtor commissions for bidding? The investor or HUD? HUD does. Dale, that's a great question. This is from Dale W. He said, who pays realtor commissions for bidding? HUD will pay your realtor for bidding for you. Isn't that a great thing? HUD pays it because they're the seller. This is from Sean. He says, if the home's outstanding loan is higher than the retail home value, all these homes, they don't have loans on them. They're owned by HUD free and clear. So what they're just doing is reselling the properties, right? And if whatever you bid and they accept, then that's the deal. Can you join after the 5th? No, because we'll be closed by then. I'll shut down access as soon as we have 25 people signed up. How much do you have to sell the property once? You can sell for whatever you want. Depending on your market, depending how hot the market is, it depends on, it depends on what your, it depends on, it depends. If your market's super hot, you can sell it over list price. If your market's a little bit softer, you want to sell it, just a little bit under list price. So it just depends on the property. Will this program be offered at a later date? Probably not. I haven't. It's because it's live. I'm doing it live, so I don't have any plans, in next 2015 to do it live again. What we did is I did this live like 2.5 years ago, and what happened is we did it record. It was a phenomenal. It was amazing. People loved it. And then we made it available. And then what happened was, as the time passed, people were complaining that the information was aged. So I decided to pull everything down of the HUD and then redo the entire information. That's why I'm doing this. This is from Joe. Is the HUD within the Flip Freedom Academy the same? No, it's all that has been pulled, and it'll be it's all new information. Don't know that. This is from John Pierce. He says, "Are you going to work with us on our market to know if it's hot or not?" Yes. Well, I'm going to show you how to to kind of determine if your market is hot, and I'm going to show you what to look for, the leading indicator to look for, and that will give you an indication of a hot market or not. So we are going to go through that, and based upon what I tell you, you can pretty much look at any market and determine if it's hot or not. It's from Oscar. Will I conduct another coaching program after the one in November? Probably not, because it's going to be 4 weeks, November 5th, and then we're going into Christmas. So I don't have any plans in 2015 to be able to do that. This is from Sean. He goes, what keeps investors from offering more money directly to sellers? We're talking about HUD Homes, and HUD Homes does a bidding process, whatever their bidding process is. So, all right. So that's it for the questions. Go to Flipping HUD Homes, first 25 people. After 25 people, the site will basically not accept, and the price will be $14.97 after the first 25 people. So go to flippinghudhomes.com, flippinghudhomes.com, sign up for the 4-week intensive coaching. It's going to be awesome. I love doing it. It's exciting. Where I'm going to have some of my killer students on there sharing their tips and tricks, any problems that they overcame. Robinson's going to be on there. He's going to talk about some killer stuff, not including, HUD, including some other sites that he bids on. That's going to be cool. And he also does fix and flip, which is cool, on how he does that with no capital out of pocket. He's going to share that. That's great. So this is going to be complete different material than was in the Flip to Freedom Academy before. So it's going to be pretty exciting. All updated, all brand new, and up to date. So, all right. So go to flippinghudhomes.com. Get signed up right now. I'm going to sign off for tonight. Thanks for everybody for being on. I appreciate your time, and have a fabulous evening. Take care, and God bless.